You open your honey, and suddenly it looks like this. White, grainy, almost solid. Did it go bad? That weird-looking honey might actually be a sign that your honey is perfectly fine. Honey is mostly made of sugars and water, and two of its main sugars are glucose and fructose. Here's the interesting part. Honey contains so much sugar relative to its water content that it's essentially a highly concentrated sugar solution. And eventually, some of that sugar can decide, you know what, I think I'll become a crystal. And once one crystal starts, things can get out of hand. Crystallization happens when dissolved glucose comes out of solution and forms solid crystals. The honey hasn't suddenly become something else. The glucose is simply changing from being dissolved in the liquid to being arranged into a solid crystal. So your honey didn't freeze. It basically built a sugar crystal city. But here's something interesting. Not all honey crystallizes at the same speed. That's because different honeys contain different proportions of glucose, fructose, water, and other minor components. Honey that's relatively higher in glucose tends to crystallize more readily. Honey that's relatively higher in fructose tends to stay liquid longer. Temperature also matters. And surprisingly, room temperature isn't necessarily the sweet spot for keeping honey liquid. Many honeys crystallize readily around roughly 10 to 15 degrees Celsius. At colder temperatures, crystallization can also be slowed because molecular movement is reduced. But there's an important practical trick. If you want crystallized honey to become liquid again, just warm it gently. The easiest method is a warm water bath. Place the honey container in warm water and let the heat gradually soften and dissolve the crystals. You don't need boiling water. In fact, gentle heating is preferable if you want to preserve honey's flavor and other heat-sensitive components. Stirring can also help distribute the heat. You're basically giving the sugar crystals a very warm negotiation. And here's where you want to be careful. Don't blast honey with intense heat. High temperatures can degrade some of honey's desirable compounds. If you're using a plastic container, there's another reason to be cautious. Not all containers are suitable for heating. The gentle water bath method gives you much better control. Now, here's the bad news. Your honey may crystallize again because warming it doesn't permanently change the glucose to fructose ratio. Once the conditions are right again, glucose can crystallize again. You didn't defeat crystallization, you just reset the clock.